Christian swingers, Arkansas censors body art, Georgia State University gets a white student union, and a couple of doctors tell us how to be crunk feminists tonight on Ladies' Night.
I'm a saint, I'm your mama, I'm your aim, I'm a moon, I'm a whiz, I'm a killer, I'm a priest, I'm a god, I'm a star, I'm a soldier, I'm a chief, I'm a freak, I'm a nerd, I'm a supernatural being, supernova on you, that's right, bow before the queen, I'm a rocker, I'm a roller, universal, just so solar, I'm a perfect imperfection and perfection.
All right, welcome to Ladies' Night. How's everybody doing? Good. Now we're gonna jump the show off with some very interesting topic, and it's about Christians who swing. ChristianSwingers.com. Have you heard about this website?
Yes.
Have you heard about this website?
Yes. And
Okay.
all I'm gonna say about that is that they just some big old freaks. They just some regular, old small town freaks, and that's what they want to do.
Well, I just believe that Christians have been fornicating for quite some time, so that the whole swinger thing is nothing new.
Yeah.
We're just sharing it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how they put the two together. It's like they pass the plate and you just drop in your phone number too, or I don't get it.
Yeah. I'm not really sure how it's going to play out, and it is kind of nasty.
It's disgusting.
It is very disgusting.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
It is.
It's disgusting because they want to get their freak on.
No, it's disgusting that they're putting it online and people can just join this website. I mean, MySpace, Facebook.
But is it the swinging part that bothers you, or
Yeah,
is it
absolutely.
the Christian swing? Like for me, like it's a free, like whatever you want to do with your body is up to you. But to put it with Christian, to me, is the problem is I don't understand how you can rectify being a swinger. And why is, if you're already a swinger, why is it so important what the religion of the other people you're swinging with is? Right. I mean,
yeah, because
I don't get it.
They're not even thinking about the word. They're not thinking about the word. They're just thinking about getting that sexual healing.
No. I wonder what it may play out like this. Lord, please forgive us for what we're about to do. Let's get it on. We're about to do it right now. I think that's how it all goes down. It may go down look like that.
Well, I don't know if you ladies heard, but a bill was passed in Arkansas banning certain tattoo procedures and body piercings. They were specifically targeting dermal implants and scarification of the skin, such as branding. Now, the final vote in the Senate wasn't even close, though. It was 26-4. What do you think about that?
Well, I bet you the 4 that voted against this were probably like Omegas or something.
They had to be.
Right, they had to be. But, I really think that you really can't tell anybody what they can do with their body. But my tattoo that I got when I was 23 living in Los Angeles with Left Eye before she passed away, I went to, what was it, La Cienega? I was on that, and I was like, I want a tattoo. Got one on my foot, and I hate it. Like, I hate it. I absolutely wish I could.
So there shouldn't be a ban on tattoos. There should just be like a legal waiting period, is what you're saying? So it's like buying a handgun. Like before you get something permanent on your body, you should be able to think about it for 3 days first.
I believe so.
I
believe so, because I wish I could just get rid of it. Like when I got married, I was like, wow, that's sexy.
Well, I'm glad
sexy.
it's on your foot, because
Right.
it could be an ice cream cone on your face, like Gucci Mane
Yeah.
or Lil Wayne. Like, that's where you take it way too far. So
Yeah.
at least you can cover that up.
Or a little scrappy too.
Oh, it's
He got all she on his face. It's horrible.
But either way, like it's the government shouldn't be, I mean, to me it's a slippery slope. I mean, people who don't like tattoos in the first place are like, well, I think we shouldn't keep people that are, from having certain things, and they say keeping it traditional tattoos.
Right.
And so what is the definition of traditional tattoos? So like, as someone who gets a little touchy about like the rights of a person's body and the rights of the government telling you what you can do with your own body, like if I want to get implants in my forehead that make me look like a reptile, that's up to me to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
And it may not be sexy, but it's my right to not be sexy.
Well, I mean, I definitely agree with the federal regulation on the subdermal implant, because that's a surgical procedure, so that definitely needs to be regulated,
So
for
you don't
health
think,
reasons.
You don't think the government is overstepping their boundaries?
Well, I do agree when it comes to the art, though. Like, if you're getting a tattoo, that shouldn't be regulated by the government. You should be able to do whatever you want to do with your body. But when it comes to the surgical implants, where they get the things in their skin and it's raised,
Who has
that
one?
needs to be regulated.
Anybody here have one?
Everybody have one?
I'd get one, though.
The
Where?
little horns, you see
I'd get
people
one
with
on the
little
back of
horns?
my neck.
Right
Why?
next to your spine?
Yeah.
But then you can't sleep on your back anymore.
No. I don't think it's like a stud. But my point is I always will get tattoos and piercings where you can't see it, or where I can cover them up if I need to at a later point. But I thought the dermal things, I've seen them right here on women. I thought they were cute.
And then whether or not you think it's attractive or whether or not you think it's your thing or not, like regulating saying in order to do it you have to have certain classes or certain health inspections, I get
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But saying you just can't do it because we think it looks nasty is that's that's a little too much in my opinion.
What I think is too much is that Georgia State, or some people may think it's too much, or maybe not so much, but Georgia State University now has a white student union. Now, according to the AJC, he started this unofficial new student club. It's called the White Student Union, and he wants it for people who have Euro-American heritage, and he feels like we need to talk about issues that affect white people, like affirmative action. I want to know what you guys think about that. Does he have a right to start the White Student Union or not?
I don't think he does. I think it's a problem.
Why?
Well, I think, first of all, the white race already has the upper hand. They naturally have the power.
Okay.
And I think that we don't need a white student union. It's already a white government union. I mean, it's you know what I mean? I feel like they already have the power. Do we really need a white student union?
I disagree.
Yeah, me too.
I don't understand. I think there's a difference between saying like white power and white pride. I mean, I have friends who are white that are mixed up with, they can't claim Irish or they can't claim Italian pride. They're so mixed up, they're just white people. And if I can be a proud black woman, why can't my friend be a proud white woman and say that she's proud, without coming off like a racist?
Absolutely. And I think that America has placed a lot of ideals in all of us, saying that white people believe that they're superior race, but a lot of white people don't actually believe that.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like
I agree they don't always believe it, or they don't all believe it, but they are the superior race, whether you, no matter how you
well,
I think like that. It's based on power.
Not superior, I think privilege. There's a privilege
It's
that
superior
they're
and privilege. It's based on power.
Right,
That's
but we can't put that blanket
about.
statement over all white people, just like we can't put a blanket statement over all black people.
True.
So I believe that he has the right to start this student union if they want to come together and say, hey, I'm proud to be white. What's wrong with that? Because we have a black student union, we have a Latino student union, and they should have that right. I just believe it's
Yeah,
I do agree.
I was in a black student union when I was in college, and we didn't exclude anybody. But the thing that perplexes me about this guy is that he's inspired by another white student union that was started in Maryland, and they've now been designated a hate group.
Oh, okay.
So
were they like burning crosses at the meetings?
They
Like that.
they
Like
were
I get what they're
protesting-
doing at the meetings.
Basically, they were protesting for racial segregation.
Okay.
So if that's your inspiration, then what's your real motive here?
Wow.
I get it.
Wow.
Y'all, you know what? Recently, dictionaries have added an additional meaning to the word literally.
I have a little something that I'd like to say about that one.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of a nerdy word girl. Like I like things like language is important to me. Literally used to mean without exaggeration or inaccuracy, actual. But now, literally can also be used in an exaggerated way to emphasize a statement that is not literally true or possible. So yes, they just redefined literally to mean not literally. So apparently this was done because so many people have been using the word incorrectly. So instead of correcting them, they just changed the definition. So Webster is probably rolling over in his grave. And I mean that figuratively. Or do we still, wait, and if we are going to use the word figuratively, does that mean we have to get rid of the word figuratively? And I mean that literally. So I understand it's not uncommon for words to change. Now bad means good. Dope means cool. Like fly is not the thing buzzing around, but how we look today.
That's right. And you.
and y'all too. Y'all looking fierce today.
That's right.
But this is rewarding society for being too lazy to use dictionary.com. It's like letting your 12-year-old smoke weed because, he really likes it and he's going to do it anyway. So if we use words correctly, we wouldn't have to change the meaning. And while I'm on the subject, if I hear someone say, irregardless, one more time, I may go crazy. You know who you are. It's not a word. And I mean that. Literally. Now, after the next break, we will conversate with the Crunk Feminist Collective. And yes, I know conversate is not a word, but maybe if I use it enough, they'll put it in the dictionary.
Amen. Welcome back to Ladies Night. Our next guests represent what happens when feminism meets the hip-hop generation. Please welcome two members of the Crunk Feminist Collective, co-founder Dr. Susana Morris and Dr. Robin Boylorn.
Hello.
Come on in.
Hello. You see? Right there. She looks pretty. You look awesome.
All right. So for those of us who are not as familiar with the Crunk Feminist Collective, what is the Crunk Feminist Collective?
Well, we're a collective of activists and scholar activists who write and blog together online. We also teach in our community and do different kind of local work around hip hop, pop culture, and feminism.
Okay. Now, can men be a part of the group?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Men should be feminists. They should be crunk feminists. Absolutely.
I agree.
So
I love that.
we are not anti-men. We're pro-men.
Okay.
Yes.
Where's the crunk
yeah,
fit in?
yeah.
Like, tell us how the
Absolutely.
crunk fits in. Like, most people are familiar with feminism, right?
Right.
So, like, but the crunk, how do you put the crunk together with that?
Absolutely. So crunkness gets in because the group started in 2004 when I was a graduate student at Emory here in Atlanta. And so we would just be in classes or experiencing, sexism or homophobia or just people basically acting a fool in classes or in our community. And we would say, okay, I'm a feminist, but I had to get crunk with this person in class or at the grocery store who was coming up with some sexism or something like that. And so we sort of married the terms, right? That you could have crunkness, you could be sort of in pop culture, listen to, whatever, Lil Jon or Killer Mike or whoever, and also sort of be plugged into justice and equality and those kinds of things as well. So that's how we match those terms together.
So I know you just mentioned Lil Jon, but how do you respond to people who specifically say you can't combine the two?
Right.
Like it's not one or the other.
Right. I think it's wrong. I mean, we have complicated lives.
Yeah.
There are things that sort of clash together. I mean, that's how we sort of envision crunk feminism, the sort of clashing of things that might seem dissimilar. So pop culture, ratchetness, feminism, equality. I mean, so I'm a college professor, I'm a feminist, I love Toni Morris, and I also love Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And those things are not, they're not incongruous to me, right? And that's how most people are, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have to recognize those parts of ourselves that are complicated,
Absolutely.
right? And
Like,
not,
what
do
is
away with
the
them.
biggest misconception about being a feminist? Like, break down how you define being a feminist in 2013. Has it changed over time?
I think that there are some realities that are specific to 2013, specific to being a black woman in 2013, or a black man, or a queer person, or what have you, or if you're at this intersection of all those identities. But if you're someone who seeks justice and equality, that you want people to be treated fairly, I mean, that's at the heart of feminism, right? And so to me, that's the same if it's 1913 or 2013. Those are things that everybody needs to know. And in terms of misconceptions, I think it goes back to thinking that if you're a feminist, that means you're totally serious. You don't care about fun. You're humorless. You don't like to dance. You're not into sort of regular pop culture.
Hate men.
Hate men.
And you just, most people have, the only thing they know about feminism are myths of feminism.
Yeah.
So they'll say something feminist and then say, but I'm not a feminist.
Right.
And that's a problem because I think feminism has become the F word, like the bad word. And it's not like that. I think that if it's just about consciousness. So being whoever you are and doing it, being that way consciously.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Being intentional.
So I think you talked about in one of your classes how you have to give it another label for some people in order
Yes.
to. Can you tell us a little bit about how sometimes people are feminist, but they can't call it feminist?
Right,
So
or
you
they're
have
not ready to. It's
Yeah.
not that they can't, but they're not ready to. And I think that because initially coming into the CFC, I referred to myself more as a womanist than a feminist, and that not realizing that was problematic for some people. But in my classroom, when I would try to convince, especially young black men, that they should be feminist, they weren't hearing it at all, and so they were down with what I was saying, but not down with going to their homeboys and being like, yo, I'm a feminist now. They weren't trying to do that. So what I encouraged them to do was to think about those things that they are passionate about that relates back to feminism, and then rename it, because I'm not invested in what they call it. I'm just invested in how you act and how you think, what your ideology is.
And the funny thing is those guys would probably get a lot more play from the women when they support the women, right, ladies?
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, when we return, we'll talk to the Crunk Feminist Collective about their love for ratchet TV.
They did say that.
You don't want to miss it. I promise you don't. With the Crunk Feminist Collective. Now, we've established that you're feminist. Okay, we got that part. but I hear y'all like to watch ratchet TV. Okay, first of all, what do you watch? And then second, how does that identify with the feminist movement? Because don't those shows kind of like take the cause back a couple steps?
Well, I love to watch. I'm like a reality television junkie, so any reality television that features Black women, I try to tune in.
Me too. Call them out. Like,
like Love and Hip Hop.
Me too.
Atlanta. The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Of course.
Basketball Wives.
Basketball
Yeah, that was
Wives.
good.
Which just came back on. Married to Medicine, though, I haven't gotten into.
Just a little
that
bit.
Grand
as much.
Hustle, the Hustle family.
T.I. and Tiny.
T.I. and Tiny,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
I watched that
yes.
with my mama.
Yes.
Yeah.
I even watched the reality show about the game.
Yeah, Marrying the Game. That's good.
Yeah.
You need to marry that girl.
Yeah.
You need to marry her.
I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Right, you never know. You never know.
And in terms of it being problematic, it definitely is. Representations of Black women on television are important because for some people it's the only representation that they see. But I think in terms of feminism, I think it's important for feminists to know what's out there. You know, we
Absolutely.
have to tune in, it's research. But also, I think that there's nothing wrong with engaging popular culture or engaging problematic representations as long as you critique them. So the key is to critique them, not just to watch them and engage and be a passive observer, but to be a critical consumer and to pay attention and to challenge what you see instead of just saying, yeah, that's how we are.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
So when you do look at it and when you critique them, what do you have to say about it? Because it's all a guilty pleasure for a lot of us.
It is.
And I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm like K. Michelle, but I mean, there is a girl like K. There's a woman like K. Michelle in this world. So, so sometimes I feel a certain way about when we say stereotypical when there are women who are just like them.
Absolutely. And that's always a concern because most stereotypes about Black women are negative. And so the only one that we ever want to own is strong Black womanhood. So we love to see a strong Black woman, but everything else feels like something we should shy away from. And so I think that K. Michelle, she doesn't represent me, but she represents Krunk me.
Right.
So I think there's a little bit, I think there's a little bit of K. Michelle, a little bit of Nene, a little bit of everybody in all of us.
Right.
And I think that's why we tune in because we connect with them. And it's in some ways, I think it's not so much watching it, but it's knowing that we're watching it in mixed company. I wouldn't care if it was just Black folks watching it. It's when I know other folk are watching it and may not have context for what they're seeing. That is a concern.
Now, coming back to the movement, if a woman wanted to get into her feminism, if it was just beginning, what's the starter kit? What's the Feminism 101 all about?
There are a couple of things. I think we can send them to some books, like, When Chicken Heads Come Home to Roost, Joan Morgan. We can send them to Bell Hooks, Feminism is for Everybody, or Alice Walker. But I would also say there's a lot of really vibrant feminism happening online, right? So crunkfeministcollective.com, there's the Feminist Wire, there's Black Girl Dangerous, there's all types of really interesting things happening online right now. So it takes a while for a book to be written and to come out, but you can write a blog post today and post it right now and share it with thousands of people. And you don't have to be a scholar or an activist. You could be a homegirl doing whatever, and you have things to share, right? So feminism really is for everybody. It's not just a lofty
So I don't
thing.
have to pledge CFC.
You don't have to, but you can.
Now, I know, Susana, you have a blog that talks a little bit about politics, and where can we find that?
Well, not only do I work with the Crunk Feminist Collective.com, I also have a podcast called Let's Break It Down that I co-host with Isha Pandit, who's also a Crunk feminist. So we just talk about pop culture, politics, how they intersect. So we've been talking a lot about the Zimmerman trial and the aftermath of that. We talked about Raven-Symoné coming out. Robin wrote recently a piece about that at the CFC as well. So it's just another place for me to get into my love of ratchet hip hop, but also be able to talk about politics and how those things go together. So.
And Robin, tell us about the book that you've got coming out.
Well, it's actually already out, Sweetwater, Black Women and Narratives of Resilience. That is it.
Okay, perfect.
And it came out earlier this year. It's based on my experiences growing up as a rural Black girl in the South. And I think it's really, it's like my baby because there were no such stories offered academically when I was coming through college. So I wanted to kind of create what I didn't have.
But you have something that's coming out in later this year too.
Yes, later this year I'm working on a co-edited collection called Critical Autoethnography.
Okay.
And that'll be a collection of, I have a chapter in it called A Story and a Stereotype about Black womanhood and stereotypes. But it's also a collection of other intercultural and interpersonal scholarship.
I feel empowered.
Yes.
I feel empowered.
Ladies,
Grab this book.
Yeah.
Let's see the book.
awesome. Ladies, thank you so much for coming by today. Give it up for the Crunk Feminist Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it up for them one more time. Yes.
Absolutely.
Like flower.
You can find the CFC at crunkfeministcollective.com, and you can follow them on Twitter at crunkfeminists. After this, hashtag.
Yeah.
All right, this is a part of the show that we like to call hashtags. Now, hashtags are the news items that didn't make the cut, but we still want to let y'all know about.
All right, first up, a man in Ohio found 285 pounds of weed in a gun safe he ordered online. Hashtag I'll bring the Taco Bell. Hashtag bake sale.
In an interview with Oprah, Lindsay Lohan admits to being an addict. Hashtag girl bye. Hashtag get your life.
And Robin Thicke filed a lawsuit to prevent Marvin Gaye's estate from claiming that Blurred Lines is a ripoff of Got to Give It Up. Hashtag, boy, you know you stole that song.
All right, thank you for watching Ladies Night. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you use the hashtag Ladies Night TV. Watch more episodes. Watch more episodes on our website at www.ladiesnighttv.net. And thank you for watching.